From just outside the perimeter of Atlanta, Georgia, where Charlotte impressed and we forgot to press.
I thought you were going to say, and we're depressed.
I was just going to say, that's not funny.
That also works. Hey, sometimes it's not funny. No. But it is the Five Takes podcast, and we are back.
We're back.
Like Shaky Knees, has anybody seen the lineup this year?
I've seen the lineup.
Everybody's really, really hyped. Listen, sorry, I'm not really there with it. I'm not there with the hype.
I haven't been. I do not have a Shaky Knees tattoo. I have not been there in a minute, but this lineup, I'm not really the all-day concert goer anymore. The festival one, I haven't been one of those since like Shaky Knees a long time ago, and before that, Warped Tour.
Glenn, you just did that this weekend. I watched you. You went from 10 o'clock in the morning until, I don't know, what time did you guys finally go to bed last night?
10 in the morning. Why would she have you meet you at a bar at 10 in the morning? I just figured she was a raging alcoholic. There's your Dumb and Dumber quote for the night. But the lineup, quite good. So we got headline in here, Deftones, My Chemical Romance, Cage the Elephant, Blink-182, everybody's favorite, right? Vampire Weekend,
it's yours.
Alabama Shakes, Weird Al Yankovic's going to be there.
But
yeah, Lenny Kravitz, Sublime is going to be there. It's going to be great. I might have to go for this one.
Also the Pixies. Also Public Enemy.
Public Enemy.
Also Devo. Also Franz Ferdinand.
I did not see Devo.
Also the Stereophonics getting third billing. Are you kidding me?
I know, but here's the problem: you have a lot of good acts, and they're spread out over 3 days. Though, like, how much is a 3-day pass?
I'm not sure, but
you have to sell your next child
kidney. You have to sell a kidney because it's
$330
all in, and we are all old enough to remember the good old days of the 3-day Music Midtown Pass for $45.
I can't even.
I'm pretty sure I paid $40 for like Warped Tour way back in the day.
And it was a lot of money back then. $40 for Lollapalooza was a lot of money.
It was.
But Jesus, I'd much rather pay. Dude, I would pay $60, like $75. I'd even pay maybe $100 for a 3-day pass. But
on this week's episode of You Might Be Old, when you argue about concert ticket prices.
Oh my God, we're old. When did it happen? It sneaks up on you, y'all.
The second you started talking about not the lineup, but the amount of money that it costs to go. Because if you were young, it wouldn't matter that you had to sell a kidney to be at this freaking show, because you would have just
have disposable income.
No, because you don't understand that you have to pay your power bill instead of going to the concert.
I mean, yeah, I just let my power bill default.
Adult responsibilities.
Turn it on when you get paid again. Just
like, they shut the power off again.
Anybody
you guys.
listening
We're gonna have
to
to
this,
go work a couple extra shifts at the O'Charlie's to get our power.
If anybody listening to this is not of the aging variety, enjoy your youth while you have it. It is the best years of your life. Adulthood, I think, I hate to speak for all of us, but I think we're all in agreement. Overrated. Highly overrated.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that. I'm having a pretty good adulthood. Speak for yourself, Glenn.
Yeah, well...
but just in general, adulting is hard. That
doesn't mean it's hard.
It doesn't mean it's always terrible. It does mean that it's always hard.
Fair enough. You do it pretty well. I think you do it better than me, honestly, as far as not letting the adulting take over too much. You've retained...
Is it just because she's the CLT commander?
Yeah, if you're not... Why? Again, I'm telling y'all, actually, our video numbers are way up. So apparently a lot of people are enjoying the video version of this pod, and that's a big credit to both of you. Nobody is here for this. I guarantee you, everybody is here for you, lovely ladies, not for me at all.
I'm just gonna start dancing on all our videos now.
And by the way, thank you very much to everybody who is sitting down and taking the time to watch a video, let alone just listen to a pod while you're in the car or at the gym or whatever, and you can squeeze in a podcast. That's kind of mind-blowing to me. We really appreciate it. You're missing dancing right now. If you're not watching the video, you are missing both of them dancing.
I went to go see Mamma Mia tonight, which is why it's 5 takes after
So
dark.
did Jenny.
Oh my God, it was so much fun because I love the end of that show when they start playing Waterloo and you get to dance in the aisles. And
Well, that's actually the funny part because Jenny was like, okay, so after curtain call, they did 3 more numbers. It was the show that wouldn't end.
oh my God, that's my favorite part is how that show ends. Like,
Well,
I
yeah,
love how
but,
that
I
show
mean-
ends because I want to, you're sitting here listening to 2 hours of nonstop disco.
Well, that's the
how do
thing,
you
is
not
that
want to dance?
You have to really like ABBA. Like, come on.
Well,
you do.
did she not like ABBA?
No, she does. We can acknowledge ABBA is what it is.
I
just
love
saying.
ABBA.
I'm
There's,
telling
like,
you.
ABBA's.
I'm telling you.
You love the Swedish?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure from Sweden.
I'm gonna-
I say to my
I would like to
grandmother,
take
please, may I have bread?
I would like to take a point of privilege here. Sorry, I'm still speaking in Robert's Rules tones. I've been in a union meeting for 10 hours today. We have got to, I think.
Please to help me with
I'm
my
apologizing
whole
to everybody who's listening and watching for
Do you like
any
the
time
Klarna?
that we have a particularly busy day when we're supposed to
You take-
record
you-
and we can only record later at night. This type shit happens where
You have the Klarna, you have the 4 payments. You paid it once, you paid it twice, you paid it 3 times, and after 4, you're done.
Hey, speaking of Nordic
We just
content,
don't
did y'all
get
see
to
the
it.
really fun video the team dropped this week going to visit Stian Gregerson's hometown?
I did not.
Jan?
Oh, it was actually
Gregerson?
super cool. They've got this new partnership thing that they're doing with Delta where they went,
Oh.
it's like a short video clip, but
I
they
haven't
went
seen it yet.
and they sent like they've got film of like Stian walking around and like, showing us this little
Stian.
town in Norway that he's from. I thought it was cool. It made me want to go to Norway.
That's cool.
I want to go to the
I
land
want
of
to go to
trolls.
Norway.
I have to say,
I do.
um,
Svalbard.
this pod episode is not starting off how I thought it would, because for being
Svalbard.
honest, the match wasn't great. Pretty low energy.
We're
and
trying to avoid talking about the actual
hear you.
match.
Okay,
because
that's what's happening.
Everything else about this weekend was
Well, yeah, it was
phenomenal.
fun. We had a good time. Jennifer and I were both up in Charlotte and had a good time up there. Charlotte's a fun city. It's nice, good walk around area there. I got to see some friends that I hadn't seen in a minute. Jennifer did her thing with, my God, full bar and a pop-up tent. That was impressive. The
So,
sheer
I
amount
do
of
need-
liquor and beer options that were just hanging out in the parking lot. Well done. Good job.
You can thank the Gulch Travel Committee. And you can thank those that laid groundwork before I got in there, because what we got this weekend was years and years and years of ideas and discussion and working together and finding common ground. Like, yeah, that's what all of our big aways should be like without the in-stadium bullshit that Charlotte pulled on us.
Yes.
That's a whole different topic of discussion. Please, if you're listening, Charlotte front office, and I know you're not, get your damn shit together.
But you were.
Because I'm
but
sick
you,
of it. Every year you
Every
find a
fucking
different
year.
way to fuck us all over. And
But
I'm
you-
done.
but you were immortalized on the gram, and it looked great.
Oh, God,
it looked like you were having so much fun.
I was.
And it was and I will say this, and it was disappointing because I was watching every moment of the match. They didn't show you guys one time.
They did when people
Well-
started leaving.
Yeah.
I didn't see. I mean, because a lot of times if there's an away match and we score, they'll show the away section. I have Glenn on immortalized on TV, and you.
Oh, when Montreal
and
away.
like I've got. Yeah. When you took
where
your
I
shirt
took my
off.
shirt off because I said if Tito scored, I was gonna do it.
I'm turning.
and I did
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
I
exactly.
did it.
I have Jennifer's butt because she was facing away from the camera at the time. You were
Classy.
clacking. You were clacking, but it was
That's
like
how
it's
we
like,
coppa
you know.
when they don't let us bring in drums. We use
Sure.
coppa
Yeah.
cans.
But and I've got a couple of good shots of Alfeo when he over the
And shouts to
years.
you. You did a good job holding down the rhythm with the
Yeah,
clap
everything
fan.
looked good. It
Really
just
well done.
no, they were very much, and I think that maybe a little unnecessarily so focused, at least on the broadcast side of it. They were focused on Zaha, and I
Well,
Shiny new toy.
goal-
should we,
his-
okay, so Kat,
his
what
goal
did
was spectacular, and his assist wasn't spectacular.
both
No,
of the
because
goals
nothing
were
in that
flop.
match was
Come on.
spectacular. Let's
No,
be
you're
real.
right. It was very
The match
stale. It was very
sloppy,
stale bread.
boring,
Yeah.
uneventful match to watch because you've got two teams that are
Yep.
still trying to figure it the hell out. We
Exactly.
just happen to make two big fat mistakes
boy.
that we
Yep.
are
Figuring
eating
it
for.
out. I've got something to say about that later.
But-
I don't
but-
want to be ringing alarm bells early on, but I
No,
do
but
have some
Kat,
things to
I
say.
do want you to understand that the reason they couldn't show us on TV
Yeah.
is because for their home opener, Charlotte only sold 50,000 tickets in a barn that seats 78,000 tickets. So no, Glenn.
Okay.
What they had to do was, and the reason we had to march all the way around the damn stadium twice, because
Yep.
they had to shut off more than 3/4 of the
saw it.
500 level. So
I saw
we
it.
could walk up through there, and
Yeah.
what you saw on TV was empty fucking seats.
Oh yeah, that 72,000 that they sold for their opener, that so they could beat out and have that top spot in the attendance record.
Which they don't have
I
anymore.
think we're in
'cause-
a really good spot in this league if we're complaining about 50,000.
Bullshit. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I know that. I mean, we still hold 10 of the 12, don't we?
I think
I
we
mean,
need to take a
shit.
moment. 50,000 attending a Major League Soccer match is huge.
In
It's
Charlotte.
huge, y'all. It just is. I don't
if we're
care
talking,
about the records.
if
That's
we're talking,
awesome.
Well,
yeah.
we're trash talking them for 50,000,
That-
right?
I mean,
Yeah,
that's true,
that's
right, but
awesome,
because,
man.
Well, because we know
San
what we're
Diego
capable
had
of.
their debut.
Yeah, if we're talking about
Most stadiums hold
league
30.
attendance, it's good.
Most stadiums
Yeah, if we're
hold
talking about
30.
exposure,
This is
it's good.
wonderful. 50? Meh. Wow.
I know. Yeah, if it was 15, 20 years ago, and it's 50 now,
It
you're
wasn't
right. That's
15,
huge.
20 years ago. It was less than that on
It was
average.
5.
Like, this
I
is
know.
incredible.
I know. I hear
So
you.
I'm
I
happy
hear you.
about it.
And it's
I'm
great.
happy about it.
Unless, of course, you're fucking,
I'm happy about it.
And I do also
Chat
want to,
GPT
like,
soccer.
the stuff that goes on inside the stadium, I just need to be abundantly clear, is absolutely zero fault of anybody at Mint City Collective. They got nothing to do with any of that. So when they come down and visit us, they've always been super, super nice hosts. They put on a great night before. From all reports, they had Tommy Scoops out.
They did.
And apparently, there's a phenomenal picture of one of my friends who got a selfie with him. The man has Tito level hair.
It's coiffed.
It is that is a luscious.
I'm
head
trying,
of,
but I can't pull off.
no, Glenn, I'm serious. That's Tito level hair, and I'm willing to bet he's got the guy with the hair freeze stuff, like
Maybe
living in
he
the
used
bathroom
Tito's
behind
barber.
the bar. I don't know. It was some very, very quality man.
All right,
sleeping,
Tommy Scoops,
grooming.
go on.
Yeah.
Got Jen all
Yeah.
hot and bothered. All righty.
I'm just. Anywho, but
Yeah.
I do want to thank Mint City for their hospitality. It was great. I got to meet a couple of y'all. A few of you guys came out to our tailgate. I know a bunch of people went over after the match.
Mhm.
Like, just it's lovely to be able to do it like that.
Agreed.
Right.
Shouts to them.
And so thank you for your hospitality. We look forward to seeing you when you come down here in July. We look forward to not having to deal with your front office. for the
Yeah,
rest of the
I'm
year.
very much looking forward to putting up the
Right.
drive home safe logo for them when they come visit us in July. That hurt. It was painful. The whole match was kind of painful. Speaking of painful,
You know what you do when you're in
yes,
pain,
let's
Glenn?
go, segue. Come on. Still got it. We're on the same page here. Just hope that the rest of our
Right here,
team.
Glenn. I'm
We're
right
more.
with you.
We're more on the same page than the team, but we've been gelling for a long time, so we should be having our shit together. At this
What are we
point.
on?
That's
Year
true.
3 now?
I
Do we even
believe
keep
so.
track?
I'll have to go back and see what episode number we're on total, and then what episode number with you. I think it's got to be like getting close to 100 or something. But anyhow,
Something like that.
yes, painful. If you're experiencing it, we got a solution for you. We got a great chiropractor in town. Their name is Mason Mill, and you should go see him. Give them a call, 404-321-0082, or find them on the web at masonmillchiro.com. Doctors there, Dr. Cohen and Dr. Miner, are both phenomenal. Been doing their thing for a long time and been doing it at Mason Mill for a long time, formerly Sherwood Chiropractic, until Dr. Cohen took over the practice and renamed it Mason Mill. And it's only gotten better from there. They've made a lot of great improvements inside. They've got a cool secret hidden Zen room that you can go hang out in before or after your adjustment. And they're, more importantly than all that stuff, is that they're people that actually care about you and are invested in your health and your well-being, and will take the time to get to know you and give you that treatment that you deserve. They also accept most major insurances, which is helpful in this country until we ever get nationalized healthcare. That's never happening. So they're off McConnell Mill Drive in Decatur, Georgia. All right. Do we want to hop to takes?
Now,
and
nope,
yeah, all right,
not quite.
All right.
On another note, speaking of hurting,
yes.
I am going to bring something up for a couple of people out there. If you are hurting on a different level, if you're hurting up here, and I'm pointing to the head, or if you're hurting in here and I'm pointing to your heart, if you or anybody that you know has issues with depression, or if they're experiencing really tough times, or if you just need someone to talk to, I beg of you, please reach out to family and to friends. We almost lost a brother tonight, someone who I've known for a really long time. He clearly had some things going on that not enough people were aware of. And I'm thankful to say that he is still with us. But I am begging you, to the people that have these problems, you are not alone. You do not have to carry the weight of this world by yourself. It's too much. It takes a village just to survive. And we are here. We want to be with you. We seek fellowship with you. And I want anybody that is experiencing that to please, if you have these kinds of thoughts, to reach out to the suicide hotline. All you have to do is, it's 988 on your phone. You can text, you can call, you can chat. There is also the Georgia Crisis and Access line. That's 1-800-715-4225. Don't wait. Don't wait until it's too hard. We want you to stay with us, and that's to everyone.
Yep. A segue we didn't expect tonight. Literally, this happened with this person earlier today, and then we hop on the pod late tonight, and we're trying to summon up the fun energy to do this. But Kat thought it was important. I agree with her, to say something, to bring this up, because times are tough right now. I mean, there's always been tough times before. Now there will be tough times later. And I think we have all had some sort of experience with this, either personally or tangentially through someone else. And it's always, I find it at least, pretty surprising about the person that's going through it. How many times do you hear, I didn't know. I had no idea. And I think that what I would like to express to the people who are going through that you might be just as surprised at how many people care and would drop of a dime, hit pause on everything in their life to give you whatever support you need. I had something along those lines happen this past summer, and y'all were very understanding, and I immediately just hit pause on everything. Look, I love what we do. I love the game. I love it. It's probably means more to me than it should. It's not healthy. Don't base all your emotional well-being on sports. And also don't call the crisis hotline if your team loses. Otherwise, Chelsea would have me calling this line on a weekly basis. But in all seriousness, I think people would be surprised that just, people are good. Don't let this other small narrative that's out there change that for you. People are inherently good. They want to help. They want to be there for you. And you'd be surprised, I think, if you're going through this, if you just picked up the phone, sent a text, at just how willing people are to just be there, listen, offer advice, whatever, because it's worth it. I mean, this is it. This is all you have. This is the most important thing. Life. Once it's done, it's done. Time is the most important asset we have. It is the only thing that you can spend that once you do, you don't get it back. There is no getting back spent time. Once it's spent, it's spent. And people would be willing to spend that time with you and on you. And you're worth that time. You're worth that investment of time. The most important thing, and you're worth that most important thing.
It.
100%.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
All right.
So
anyhow, la-di-da.
That being said, let's move to something else that was not as depressing.
But not super great.
But not great in and of itself.
The thing that caught me off guard, which is going to be the theme for me for this whole episode, is that it just looked so much different than the previous match. You cannot win every game. That's fine. You and I have talked, all three of us, we've all talked about this, but Kat, you and I talked about this when we first started this pod. This is a theme you've been hammering on for a long time.
Yep.
Lose, but lose well. Lose in a way that you're like, okay, I get it. You
can be proud of.
I kind of understand
okay, we fought, we tried. Yeah.
But this is confusing to me because the first match, it's like, oh, okay, this is kind of Ronnie Ball, Dyla Ball, very direct at goal. But then he came out in his press conference and said, okay, that's great. I didn't mean to be that open. Like, let's lock it down a little bit. Thank you. Goals are great. Yeah, you got the attack down, but we need a little possession.
And you called it Ronnie Ball. We don't know if that's Ronnie Ball.
Fair enough.
But that was all we had to go on week.
But now this week we go
after this match. I don't think we know what the hell Ronnie Ball is.
That's why I'm so confused, because this week it's 180, totally different. The press gone. Resumed with lateral and back passes. I counted more in the first 20 minutes than we had in the entirety of last week. So I'm very confused.
We've been making the injury excuses for the last 5 years, and I certainly didn't want to have to start this season off making the injury excuses.
But it doesn't help when you start the season off with injuries, though.
But also, it wasn't just injuries. It wasn't just being really thin on the back line. Apparently, Mateusz Klich was scratched.
Bird flu.
Healthy scratch.
He was. He had the flu.
And if he had the flu and couldn't go, and they've been in pretty close, like, how healthy were we as a general thing?
I like the conspiracy theory here. Everybody had a little bit of the flu. Okay.
I'm not and again, it's a dumbass excuse.
No.
I don't want to make it.
No, it's
but
not.
They came out flat.
We look lethargic.
They look lethargic, which honestly, like, I'm kind of surprised.
It's puzzling.
And
it's just
why
puzzling.
I'm kind of surprised. So, interestingly enough, because you were not at the tailgate lot, but this is the coolest thing that happened the whole freaking weekend for me. So we got to the tailgate lot at like 9:45. I slept in a little bit, not gonna lie. Anywho, we got to tailgate lot like 9:45, and we're setting everything up, and all of a sudden, we see a bunch of people in red walking by the lot. And there was like 12 of us down there, whatever. Anyway, it's the whole team out for a morning promenade.
Oh.
Like, and we're sitting there chanting or whatever. There's video of this on Soccer Down Here because Maddie and their camera gal came over and they filmed it. So it's on the Soccer Down Here story. But anyway, it was really neat. And let me tell you, Miggy, of course, stopped, cheered, and made a little thumbs up at us and like looked so happy Miggy, but you know, they were all kind of like, they saw us standing there and they're all like poking themselves and like little smiles and, you know, whatnot, like, oh, that's so cool, like they're here, like, you know, it means something. I would have thought that they could have maybe mustered a little bit more energy to come out the gate with, like, I don't know.
Can I just point something out here about you said that you slept in a little bit and didn't get to a tailgate till 9:45. Oh no, you weren't able to start drinking until 9:45 a.m. The dedication the European mind can't comprehend. I was late to start drinking at 9:45 a.m.
In my defense, it wasn't me being late to start drinking.
That's not late.
I had the whole tailgate in my car. I was late I was supposed to be there like 9:30 to start setting up. It was a lot of stuff. We had a lot of
You
stuff.
did have a lot of stuff.
We had a lot of stuff to set up. So, and we didn't really have a lot of, equipment to set up.
Yeah.
So also thank you to La Dose for loaning us the tent because we did not have a tent. Really appreciate it.
Oh, shouts to La Dose. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Luis. Thank you, Anna, for stepping up and pulling that out of your car. Like, it was dope. Thank you. Thank you to Waniko and All Stripes for bringing in the extra drinking ice because we went through way more ice than we thought that we were going to. So yeah. Anywho, sorry. Okay, so yeah, tepid, boring football. Like, we were up and ready. Where the hell were you, team? Where were you?
Yeah, it's weird because, I think a lot of times what's kind of good is that all three of us, when we are watching, we have three different perspectives because Jennifer, your seats are not next to Glenn. And Glenn, your seats are kind of off to the side of where Jennifer usually is. And
You're usually
to my
at
own
home.
credit, most of the time I'm at home. So we have three different perspectives, and that's what we've always offered. That's been part of our shtick since the very beginning. It's part of our premise. And to me, my perspective, it looked like a preseason game. It looked like all we were trying to do was kind of feel out the game. Like the width that we were having was good. I think I even said that in the first half.
The first half
it's
was
like,
okay.
I said we had good movement, and I think that wasn't even really the first half. I think it was more like the first 25 minutes. And I say that because I was like, oh, okay, so it's less direct. It's less balls over the top. It's less straight
Which I thought
at
we
them
were going to try
like it was last
couple.
week.
I thought we were going to put the fear of God in them with Latte.
I really thought we were going to.
I don't understand why we
I don't know. But that's what I'm saying is that all we were doing was playing the width of the field.
I don't
passing,
understand. I think
passing back.
I don't understand what if there was a tactical plan in place for this match. I don't think anybody got the memo.
That's what I'm concerned about. Is it that, or the players not understanding what the coach wants? Because one game it's like go, all attack, direct, get to the goal. The next one he says something to the team of like, okay, yes, but also this, and they take that to mean, ooh, back to 500 passes, lateral back passing. Is it that, or is he training them too hard? Because he did mention that. He did mention that last week, that he might have been training a little too hard. So just a little bit of concern.
We don't know anything. I think maybe that's a little bit frustrating as we don't know anything. We have so many questions because it's so brand new again.
Which is why I can't, like I said, I can't go out there and like hammer the hell out of everybody and be like, we lost a game, the sky is falling. We don't know what, we don't know what this team is ultimately going to be. We haven't had our first choice lineup out there. The attack has had all of 3 weeks of training together since Latte got here.
So,
like, what
and
is
Miggy.
And Miggy was in a week earlier, but still, it's not a whole lot of time.
And we don't know what we're asking of him yet. We don't know what we're asking of anybody yet.
To be fair, the goals came on brain farts. The goals were not systematic.
Correct.
Bad bounces and individual mistakes.
Or, really, really poor defensive efforts, or, some sort of glaring, oh my God, get this player off the pitch, Matt Edwards notwithstanding. I thought actually, I know you're going to get into this.
Good game, but just that mistake. Yeah.
It's frustrating. It's
so,
I don't want to even say it's frustrating. It's tough. He's a kid.
Well, and
he made a mistake, and the mistake led to a goal. If I can forgive that because he's still learning, and because he's inexperienced. Somebody like a Braum or Brooks makes that same mistake, and you go, "Oh, for fuck's sake, dude." I did not say that with this kid. I went, oh, damn.
It's gonna happen. We didn't get broke down.
I just said, and they had been praising him. The commentators had been praising him for much of halftime at how well he was keeping up with Zaha. And that's true. And that's not who burned him either. And it's just a pity that the poor kid had to experience. Well, this is what happens.
Well, and
this is what first team play looks like.
Abe Gordon and Nick Alifi alluded to it on the post game. They were like, well, this is the big difference. Like, people ask Greg Garza, they ask Parkhurst all the time. Like, what is the difference when you go from USL Championship or you go from USL League One, like to MLS? And it's the speed and the timing with which you have to make decisions. That gets cut by, 2/3. You no longer have that extra half a second to think before you do something. It's got to be automatic. And for nobody on this team,
and it just takes
any
seat
of that
time.
automatic yet. And it's a problem for us right now because we are literally in one of the toughest stretches of the entire season through the end of March. Look at who's coming up. Red Bull.
Yep.
How well do we do historically against Red Bull? Okay, good times.
I'm sorry, did I roll my eyes out loud?
Yes. Well, there's a reason we don't like playing them because they're boring to watch. We know exactly what they're going to do and how they're going to.
Well, they're going to be a little.
They just do it every
Red
year.
Bull is a little different this year, and they were a little different last year. They're not the same old just press intensity buzz around Red Bull. This is a better Red Bull, in my opinion.
No, I know.
But here's the issue with what Kat brought up with time, and Abe Gordon brought this up as well in the full-time report, that it is going to take some time for Atlanta United and our new pieces, new setup, new coach, a lot of new, to gel. I have an issue with that. San Jose went under massive changes. They have scored 6 goals. 2 wins.
Okay.
Philadelphia underwent massive changes, moving away from a coach who has been there since the dawn of time. They have scored a bucket load of goals.
Yeah,
they have not needed
they've got a
time
plethora
to gel. So I don't know if that's a really good reason. Why can't we do it?
Well, to be fair, San Jose played a decimated Real Salt Lake squad.
I can find reasons. I'm just saying.
San Jose played Sporting KC.
I don't know. Maybe I'm a little impatient. I'm just.
Well, we are impatient, and that's okay. I just
don't
think
we need time
that
to
you
gel.
have to. It's okay. You got 3 personalities on this podcast.
Yeah.
There's going to be 3 different perspectives, and there's going to be 3 different ways of time frames that are going to come out of this.
You want to talk about?
If you want to be impatient. I'm just saying, if you want to be impatient, that's fine. It's only been 7 years since we did anything that fucking meant anything. So I don't blame you. Okay, I don't. I don't think that you're wrong for being impatient.
Sure.
You're making him cry.
No, it's all good.
He's crying tears of unhappy frustration.
No, it's. I'm saying I get it. I'm saying I get it, and I'm there too. I think I'm a little bit more neutral. I think Jennifer's a little bit more positive, and you're a little bit more negative.
I have said from the get-go that I am not going to get.
I know you're like, tell me in January or tell me in July, June.
I will start
if you're me.
The hammer. If we are still playing like trash in June, it will not be pretty, and no one will want to listen to me. But right now,
it won't only be Alexei Marinchuk's fault.
It will. Yes, exactly. And hey, you know who else's fault it wasn't? Was Stian. I thought Stian had a hell of a match yesterday.
The defense looked good, at least in the first half. Again, we weren't undone. It's long balls and bad bounces, and Stian had some grown-ass man defending. He looked fine, and we are still missing key pieces on the back line. And when those go back, we should be okay.
With the 2 goals notwithstanding, the defense didn't look that bad.
It didn't.
No, and I do want to give a big shout out to Dominic Chunky, who made his MLS debut. Came in around the 85th minute or something like that.
Yep.
Let me tell you how good that kid looked.
Tell me.
Look, there was the one dangerous chance that we had at the end of the game with Mascara. Was a very nifty little
super
flick
sub
and a lovely
super
little
sub.
pass with some vision from a 17-year-old kid. Who's on an emergency call-up contract.
Yeah, it was the most vibrant we'd looked in the entire second half, ironically, and it's not really surprising because that's what we used to utilize Mascara for is that speed, his speed in the super sub kind of role, and I think that bringing in Dom for that worked out well. He's definitely got a nose for the game. I think that we've got a really good crop of up and comers.
And he is
we've
just
done well.
starting
We've done
out
well in
up
that
and
category.
coming. I mean, the dude doesn't even have a pick on SofaScore or FotMob yet. Like, they just have the little silhouette.
Just even have a driver's license. I don't think he does.
He may not. You may not need it. He may have his own driver before long if he can. And he can make well in this game.
Very and what we saw of him in preseason too. He was very poised.
Yeah.
Very, very, and this is the praise I wanted to give to Matt Edwards as well.
Yeah.
He was brave on the ball.
He looked
right?
better
And
today.
I appreciated
he
that.
really did. He looked more comfortable.
Yeah, he did. He grew a lot from what we saw from him in Montreal. So,
yeah, some of what playing this game is about is just having the fucking balls to step up to it. And that's what Edwards did, man. He played Zaha really close to the chest for the entire first half.
It was a tall
very brave.
Rookie.
Yeah.
How old is Matt Edwards?
17 or some shit. I don't know. But it was being very, very brave with Zaha. You know, he could have picked up a yellow at any point if he had been over rambunctious with him, and he wasn't. He was just smart. He had good instincts for it. You know, it's a pity that he got burned the way he did on that bad bounce, but it happens.
Yeah.
You know,
he's 22. I just looked it up. He's 22 years old.
Oh, 22.
Okay. So he's not that young.
He packs his own lunch. Mom isn't cutting the crust off or anything.
He drives himself. Yes,
hey,
he does.
Let me ask you all a question
to
here about something else that we know what we're lacking defensively and what will be coming back. Here's something else that we might be lacking that isn't coming, at least not unless we make a big move in the summer or something else.
Yeah.
A magician of sorts. We all know that the sum of all our parts looks pretty great when it's all clicking and everybody plays well off each other, everybody's healthy, that's good. But what we don't seem to have is that one player that can kind of just take a game over, break it up, and put the team on their back, so to speak. I mean, you could make an argument for Miggy, I suppose.
That's
Maybe,
I know,
but not in that same way.
He's
not like your
we don't know that yet.
10 playmaker.
Yeah.
And we have had that in the past. I'm not saying every 10 has been great, but are we missing that type of player that can just make shit happen?
I think it's too soon.
I don't know yet.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I think we're asking questions.
Okay. Fair.
That we don't have enough information for. This happens a lot. This has happened every year for the last 5.
Okay.
I feel like we ask some really tough questions when we lose our first match.
Let me also, again, just to be more Susie Sunshine, woo.
Hey, somebody's got to do it.
Last thing, look,
I know.
Look.
Yeah.
If Philadelphia is coming in and running roughshod over the East right now, I do not ever want to be the team that peaks on match week 2.
Good point.
So it may very well be because, I mean, look, the way that they drilled Cincinnati was completely unexpected given what Cincinnati looks like on paper.
True.
Okay. Now, granted, Cincinnati's had quite a lot of big player movement with, you know, and the big signing with Denke and, you know, shipping out Lucho Acosta. They've done a lot of upheaval up top in much the same vein that we have. And again, it's just, you know, one of those things, I don't think you can snap your fingers and expect all of this to roll over immediately. So do we have a magician? I don't know. I don't know that we need one, but I also know that we aren't seeing pretty like basically we've got this like cherry automobile, but like half the parts are still sitting out getting ready to put the engines back together and like buff it out.
The analogies just get weirder the later it gets.
You don't like that?
No, it's fine. I'm just pointing out that shit gets weird after dark. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, when do I talk about cars going around in circles? Never.
I think
just shocked that there hasn't been one skating reference tonight. That's all. Not one ice skating or hockey reference tonight. Not one.
Okay, you know what? Today was kind of a rough day for skating. Because today was the Legacy on Ice tribute for
they did the tribute.
Of course there was.
So thank you, Glenn. Thank you, Glenn, for ripping my heart open. Because yes, of course, I sat in the car wash watching the streaming and like bawling my eyes out like a little girl. No, it was and they did a lovely tribute to Dick Button who died, and Dick Button like changed my life and. You know, like it was a rough day, but anyway, if you prefer I go back to hockey talk, I can do that. I can put on an ugly sweater and I can talk some hockey.
No, it's fine.
Hockey talk.
No, it's fine.
So I just think that team, you're gonna lose matches. Okay. Even Cincinnati can't win them all. They didn't, and it's what I think that's really interesting.
They shot the bed against Philadelphia yesterday.
But I think that's what's kind of interesting is that just because Cincinnati was good last year, Doesn't mean they're going to be good this year.
And they struggled. You know who?
Yeah, on paper, but Galaxy's in last place.
You know who shocked me so far, and maybe I shouldn't be shocked. Maybe I've underrated him. Nancy at Columbus, man, he's best coach in the league. Columbus has had some big changes. I mean, you lose Cucho, and they're still doing the business, man, and they're scoring goals. They're still a good team, but any other team would struggle, and I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed.
A lot of what Atlanta has been lacking is the consistency, and I think that if we just had a good solid season with a good solid squad with a good solid coach,
and that will take
and even
time.
If we didn't win it, and even if we didn't win the cup or we don't win any trophies, you say, you know what, that was, we finished like top 4 kind of thing, go out in the semifinal, you're like, okay, that was a good solid season. You can't win them all, but you know what, we this and this and this and this and this all went well, and only this and this didn't. And we had a solid turnout for a consistent season. The whole season, it's like, okay, we see where this is going, and we haven't had that.
No, and the biggest problem I see is the repetition of the pattern of coming out in the second half where we just have nothing in the tank for whatever reason.
Been a pattern.
And that is a pattern behavior that is not broken yet, and it really, really needs to fucking break up. I'm over it. I am over it. And this means all y'all in the supporter section. So next week, I know we were all stuck in beer lines, right? I was stuck paying $16 for a burger because I was starving, right? I was not in my seat when we came out, but like, we need to bring that energy for the drop of the second half. And I think if we bring that energy, the club is going to bring that energy, because man, something's got to change.
What is it about the 46th, 47th, and 48th minute?
I don't know. Anywhere from 47, 45 to 55. We just seem to like not turn on.
It's a problem. It has to get solved. Like Kat said, I mean, and that's wrapping up with 5. You cannot win them all. But losing in that way, in a sort of a pattern type way, is troubling. When you lose in similar fashion that you have in the past, you can't help but look at that and go, oh boy, how have we not shaken this yet?
Well, and you take those 2 goals out of the equation. We didn't have anything else either. That game could have ended 0-0.
Right.
You take those 2 goals out that were, not great, flukish, not even flukish, but they just, you know what I mean? They were kind of
the attack wasn't
mistakes.
going. I mean,
you take that out and it's 0-0.
The attack wasn't going in the second half.
We didn't have anything.
I mean, that's why you saw a quad of line change, in
a
hockey
quadruple
terms.
change.
Pretty much
let me ask you guys, like,
it was
where do
a
you
full line change.
There was a conspiracy theory floated around that wholesale 4-man change was intentional and meant to send a message to the offense.
Hey, not happy with this.
I wouldn't be. We don't know.
You gotta know that this isn't good enough, so everybody comes out, because you're right. It is very weird to see both an Alexi and a Saba go out at the same time. Like, that's a pretty strong.
It kind of felt like you're giving up on the offense, for sure.
Those are your play guys, like Latte as well.
You're giving up on the offense at that point. You're saying, okay, we're done. So go sit down and think about what you've done.
I don't know how much of a conspiracy theory that is. He might be trying to just let them know, because it wasn't working anyhow, so he might as well change it up, and at the same time say, that's not the standard. You're not bad players, don't hate you, but that's not the standard. And sometimes it is important to just know that that's not good enough. I'm sure they're not happy either. It's not like they walked off the pitch.
Is it a little early to send that kind of a message?
No, I don't think so.
Game 2?
No, I don't think so. And also, like I was saying, I don't think anybody who got subbed out was like, well, that doesn't make sense.
Right. No, I don't think so either.
Not that they want to come off, but they know it wasn't good enough.
I'm just saying, do you think he needs to send the message of, okay, nobody gets any more water? I don't think that's. No. I don't think that's where we are yet.
No.
I still think this is all like just it's work in progress issues.
Yes.
That's what I think. I mean, we're
I
doing
really
a
do.
little,
and if you look at,
we're stretching this pod into conspiracy theory. So
right. Well, I mean, it's 5 takes after dark. Where else would we go but down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole?
It's going to be 5 takes into the morning if we don't wrap this thing up. You got anything else?
Just a couple of quick notes about some fun things coming down the pipe for the pod in general. So little birdies told me we might be doing some cool stuff with Decatur FC.
Yep,
what say
coming.
you, Glenn?
That is coming. Time's a flat circle. When was that? A month ago when we had the Footy Mob kickoff party, we got to meet with the head coach and manager at Decatur FC. And we hit it off, and they really want to come on the pod at some point because they're all about growing the game and showcasing Decatur FC and getting the word out about them. So we are going to have an episode with them at some point in the future with both of those gentlemen and a player, we hope, sometime in the near future. Their season kicks off in May, so might do that around April-ish, and that's going to be super cool. In addition to that, we're also still going to have the women's footy forum that's going to be coming back. And maybe something else special that neither of y'all know about. And I'm just going to play close to the vest right now. But I'll lead both of you on. Something else I've got in the works, and I'll leave it at that. But
intriguing.
Yeah. But
I
suffice
will,
it to say, fun stuff is coming, not just with Atlanta United,
and
but
hey,
other things
thanks for the feedback that you share with us. We really appreciate the engagement. We hope you've enjoyed our little footy kid spotlights with Harper and Sparrow.
The kids are more popular than us.
Way. I know, right? Maybe that's why the videos are up, is because everybody wants to see the awesome.
Yeah, our numbers are dropping. We just got to bring the kids back on, y'all.
That's right.
Okay. So nothing
for the
works.
Kids.
Maybe we need dogs. Oh, speaking of dogs, I do want to share some really sincere condolences to one of our own who we lost a very special member of the footy community this past week, and our hearts go out to you, Zoe's mom, and we're thinking about you, and I'm so sorry. She was a real one, and the best dressed pup in the league.
Listen, man.
For some people, our pups and our pets are our kids, and I have actual kids, but before that, I always had fur kids, and I will never ever tell someone, "Oh, come on, it's just a dog or it's just a cat. Get the fuck out of here." That's your child, and I get
100%. It. I will be a mess when
it's
that
like
time
losing
comes.
a part of you. Yeah, it's like losing a part of your heart. And I totally understand.
You think I cry easy now?
Yeah.
Wait.
So I'm saying I get it. Yeah. Everybody. It's been a tough. It's been a tough year this week.
It's been a tough 2025.
It's been a tough year this week. Gosh.
Anyway, but hey, the good news is we're back home this week. We get to go back to lot 17. We get to have ourselves a grand old time on Saturday. And you should definitely...
I will be in attendance for the
second
home game in a row. How about that?
So come out and party with me and with Kat, and maybe and not Glenn.
Yes, unfortunately, I will be experiencing a different sort of pain with the Hawks.
It's gonna be a women's only 5 takes presence at the pod or at the game this week. But come out and see us. And reach out to us. We have especially. Reach out and touch someone, specifically me, in the face. I don't mind. And
hey, on that note,
we'd love to talk to you.
On the wrapping up here, on the reach out and touch someone note, do that. Reach out to your friends, to your family. You'd be surprised at what, an out of the blue text or phone call to someone that you haven't spoken to in a while does for that person. You're not bothering them. I promise you, anytime a friend texts me that I haven't heard from in a minute, it always makes me really happy. A phone call out of the blue makes me like over the moon. It really does mean a lot. It's a simple gesture. We're all struggling these days.
We're all in this crazy world together.
And I think something that a lot of us struggle with is, what can I do? What can we do about this? You feel a bit helpless and hopeless at times.
That's right.
And I'm telling y'all, something you can do is just check in. It means more than you think it might. It seems like this tiny small thing. I'm just texting. I'm just calling someone. It can be bigger than you think. It really can make a difference, and know that you're making a difference in someone else's life. And if you're on the other side of that, know that somebody wants to make a difference in your life on both sides of this thing. Reach out and reach back, it's important because this week has been a tough year and it's going to keep going like that. Every day is a year.
And we're not through yet. It's only March 1st.
And it doesn't seem to be getting any easier with time. And, adulting is hard, as they say. Jennifer's doing better than all of us with the adulting.
I wouldn't say that is. I am not. No. This is not an example.
We pick ourselves up, right? So what we're gonna do as a team and as supporters, we're gonna pick ourselves up from this loss. We're gonna dust ourselves off. And we're gonna move on to next week
again.
That's right. And we're gonna try to beat the snot out of Red Bull at home.
Yes.
And you know what? We will see what we see. Yes. It is too early to make too many assumptions. Yes. So let's try to stay. We don't have to stay optimistic, but let's at least try to stay open-minded. Glenn, I'm looking at you, for fuck's sake. And let's just see what we see. Okay.
It's gonna be great. Jennifer and Kristen have both promised not to spoil the match for me while I am at the Hawks game, even though that might be.
We're gonna do our best.
That might be unavoidable. If I hear a bunch of train horns going off, I might take a hint as what's going on.
You will
be just bail, or you could totally shoot confetti streamer cannons in our general direction.
I could do that. I could lug one over there and just start popping.
You haven't had an excuse to fire one off at your actual job in a while.
Oh no, it's been tough. We're at that Titanic meme. It's been 87 years.
He's firing the ones off from down below.
Yeah, the next time I shoot the confetti cans at State Farm Arena, it's just gonna be dust. Just gonna poof out of them. All right, y'all. Thank you very much for listening. We really appreciate it. Thank you for continuing to support us by hitting all the various buttons of like, subscribing, and reviewing. Not only for us, but for FanTV's pod as well, and for watching it on YouTube, and for supporting Mason Mill and supporting each other. That's more important than anything than this pod, and supporting us is supporting each other. We are all there for each other. We have to be, or bad things happen if you don't. So reach out to your loved ones, tell them you love them. Don't take the time you have for granted, and know that you're also worth.
Reach out to the people that you don't talk to all the time.
Tell them that you're
thinking about them too.
The time is worth it, and you're worth the time. All right, y'all. We will be back in a week's time. Until then, y'all be good. We will be back.
Meow. Are these whiskers? Does it work? Meow. Meow. I can't make it work. Meow.
No, you would.
I could try to describe what's going on, guys, but you really just gotta watch the video.
This looks like a fish. This is like.
This is the fish face. Hold on, wait. This is the fish.